Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. Today we are trying out a Hero Art stamp set. I'm not sure when they came out with this, but I thought it was so pretty. I love the florals and the hot air balloons. And this was a combo. They are available separately, the dies and then the stamp set. And I'll leave all three links down below in case you guys want to check it out. But this was so neat. I thought we'd make a fun, encouraging Dream Big card. We're going to start off by separating the dies that we're going to be using, and then we're going to do some stamping. I wanted to use the beautiful big hot air balloon. I thought it'd be real fun to color in, and instead of using copic markers today, I thought we'd spice it up a little bit and use the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. So I'm stamping on Canson watercolor cardstock. I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder tool, and then we're going to stamp with VersaMark ink. And then I wanted to create a real soft and floaty card, so I thought we'd go over our image with white embossing powder. And before we heat set our embossing powder, we're going to do a little bit more stamping. In the stamp set, there's 2 flowers, and then there's a single leaf. We're going to stamp those a few times. I think I ended up stamping the larger flower 5 times, and then the smaller flower 2 times, and then I did stamp 6 leaves. We're stamping again with VersaMark ink, and then I'm going to go over these as well with my white embossing powder. Figured we'll do all the embossing all at once. Stamp that leaf. It's kind of hard to see with white on white, so I kind of skipped over this step, but tilt it so you can see it just a bit. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and I'm just going to use these 4 markers. Starting off with my green, I'm going to do a little coloring with my water brush, and the green is light green, 041, and I only have the 24 pack of the Zig markers, and so far it's working really good for me. I might change my mind later on in the future, but I'm a color blender. I could add like a little brown to this green, and it would create a real pretty olive green, but I'm just using my water brush to blend out just one color today, just spreading out, adding just a dot of color and then spreading out to the ends. And I think when you use white embossing powder on your zigs, it just creates a real soft effect, and I like that. For my flowers, I'm going to draw a little donut around the center of the flowers and then pull out that color to the end of the little flower petals. This color here is bright yellow, it's 052, and I did that with all the larger flowers. And then for the smaller ones, we're going to use our yellow, which is a 050. Just do the same thing, draw a little donut and spread that color out all the way to the ends. And I'm going to do the same exact thing to the flowers on the hot air balloon. I did dot the center of the flowers with my 072 beige marker. Very easy to do. I have to kind of tilt, since it's white on white, I had to tilt my paper just a little bit so I can catch where to do this, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. I found it easier just to do all the big flowers at once and then fill it in with a little bit of the green, dot those centers real fast, and then fill it in because the areas were pretty small with the green, and just kind of spread that color out. And sometimes your water brush will still have that green left over, so you can transfer a lighter color over. And then I did use the lighter yellow too. But there we go. There's all my images all filled in. For the basket, I use the same beige that I use for my flower centers. And for my background today, I'm going to create a blue background. So I'm going to use the cobalt blue, which is a 031. I wanted it behind my water balloon as well because there's little strings hanging down. It's kind of hard to tell. But that's going to actually be blue sky in the background. So I just lightly shaded it in with my cobalt blue Zig marker. Now I'm going to take my coordinating dies and die cut out all my images, and I did end up stamping and heat embossing a couple more flowers, but 2 of the smaller ones, and then I end up doing a couple more of the larger ones and a couple more leaves later on. But that's so pretty. I just love the way this looks. Okay. I'm taking another piece of Canson watercolor cardstock, and I'm going to die cut out my panel with my Hero Arts rounded rectangle infinity dies. And we're going to do a little bit more heat embossing using the clouds in the stamp set. So I treated my paper again with my anti-static powder bag. And since there's two clouds, I want to keep them white. So I'm not going to overlap the small with the large. I'm stamping the large one right now, and I am going over off the edge a little bit, just so it kind of fills in that entire background. And then I did go ahead and add my smaller cloud as well. We're going to go ahead and melt this embossing powder, and then we're going to color in our background with that cobalt blue. This is a really strong blue, so I'm going to dilute it a little bit on an acrylic block and add a lot of water to it, and then just spread that color out. I wanted to keep my cloud centers white, and so diluting it with water helps a lot. I sped this part up super duper fast. I wish I could work this fast, especially when I clean the house, but just for time purposes I did speed it up. But you can see I just skipped over those clouds, and then just to give it a little bit more dimension, I found if you just add a touch of color underneath the clouds and then spread it out with your water brush, just making a little bit more of an intense color on the bottom edge, it really made the clouds look dimensional. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment with my VersaFine ONYX black ink that says Dream Big, and then I'm going to use my tape runner, and we're going to adhere this to a A2 size card base, which is a fog color. It's a real soft gray, and usually I pop up my watercolor panels with fun foam because it helps, since it warps a little bit, it helps keep it straight and even. I didn't do that with this card because I wanted dimension to be on my hot air balloon, and then I'm also going to add dimension to the flowers that I'm putting on top of the hot air balloon. And I'm just going to add all my flowers, kind of doing a little tucking with the leaves, and place that on the very front of my balloon. I think that just looks so pretty. In real life, I got a new phone, so that's what I use to take my pictures, and the camera on my new phone is so nice, guys. So you'll see in the close-up how pretty it looks. Okay, I'm not happy with the background, so here we're going to do a redo on our background just to give it looked a little plain to me. And so I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim off a 1/2 inch off this right side here, basically taking off the rounded corners. And then the main piece is going to go tucked all the way to the right of my card base, so that straight edge is going to go on the straight edge of my card base. And then I'm going to take the 1/2 inch piece and put it on the left, so it's going to leave me a little bit of a gap. Just something a bit different, and I like those rounded corners on the top and bottom with that hot air balloon. I just think your eyes just go straight to that balloon, and it's so, love the way it turned out. Okay, one thing else that bothered me was I have a nice dark sentiment, and so I have no other black on my card. So in the stamp set there's some little birds. We're going to stamp these all over our background using the same VersaFine ONYX black ink. For the very top corner here, I do bring in a piece of post-it tape. I'm going to block off that the opening there so we don't have no ink that goes on our fog cardstock. And I think it's coming together really nice. I am going to take my white, actually I keep saying white gel pen, but it's a black jelly roll pen, and I'm going to dot the centers. Instead of them being brown, I thought black would tie everything a little bit more nicer. These are my favorite Nuvo drops in White Blizzard. It's a glittery iridescent color, and I went over the clouds with it, filled them in, and then also the centers of my flowers. Now the center of the flowers, I covered the black jelly roll pen, but when it dries, the black's going to pop out. But that's my card for today, guys. You'll see here in the close-ups, I didn't let, when I took the pictures, I didn't let my glitter drops dry all the way, so it's still a little cloudy, but you can see how pretty it looks. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.